Hey, I'm Matt Hudgens, and he's Dave Mulvaney, and this is Profitability MD. Dave, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm out in Colorado, kind of out west for a week in summer.
Nice time to be in Colorado.
Nice time to be in Colorado.
Can't ski.
45 to 75. No skiing. You're doing hiking and biking and that kind of stuff. Just outdoorsy kind of stuff. Great. We've been in Boulder. We're going to Winter Park. We're going to a place called Grand Lakes. Another place called Granby. So all these places are a little north of Denver.
Nice.
Just fun. Yeah, I've got one of my daughters out here working here this summer, so made it into a family trip. All right, cool. All right, episode 131. We got a lead generation scorecard. So it's a lead generation scorecard. You can grade yourself. We call it 10 ways your lead generation is growing or slowing your business. So you're going to grade yourself on a scale of 1 to 5 on each one of these 10 questions, 10 different questions. And you see how your lead generation, where your weak spots are, where your strengths are, and what you need to work on. And we'll just talk about each one of those. Does that sound good?
It's perfect.
Perfect. All right. I got number 1. It says, how would you rate your ability to generate leads? Right? That's something we hear all the time from small business owners.
And, I think being that's the first one, a lot of times these, by the way, the reason you want to grade these is because you want trackability in your business. And if you can't determine, like, number 1, how do you rate your ability to generate leads? If you can't determine that, you're probably not very good at it. So
that's right. So you give yourself a 1, right? On a scale of 1 to 5 is each one of these questions. 1 to 5. If you're really good at generating leads, you got more leads than you could possibly handle, that's a 5, right? If you have no idea what you're doing, if you're sitting around twiddling your thumbs, it's kind of a 1. And
or
then
if
somewhere in between.
Or if you're branding, what people call branding is, I run ads all the time. Well, how well do they work? I don't know.
Well, that's different. That'll be further down. I think that's question 3 or 4. All right. So question number 2.
How well do you feel about your advertising? Yes.
Yeah, that's number 2. How close are you to selecting a specific niche? We talk about this all the time. Do you have a specific niche established and that's you're going after? That's your target market. Then you would give yourself a 5. If you'll take anybody who can breathe, that's a 1, right?
Precisely. And it doesn't matter what market you're in. If you're not selecting a specific niche, then if you sell to everyone, you sell to no one. That's the old adage. It costs too much to acquire everyone as your customer. What do I mean by it costs too much to acquire everyone as your customer? You'll have customers that you don't like. You'll have customers that won't like your price, and you'll constantly be chasing your tail. You want customers that know, like, and trust you, and that you love doing business with them as well. So that's why you pick a niche.
Well, that's a great point. We've talked about that before. If you're already in business and you've been around for a while, you might have a niche already in your book of business. So we call it, remember the 80-20 rule, that there's probably 80% of your revenue comes from your top 20% of your clients, right? So that's probably a niche in and of itself. So you could go back through your own client list, your own business, and say, where did my business come from this past year? And perhaps my guarantee is there's probably a niche already in there. You just don't know it, right? So that's the one thing first thing we recommend everybody go back and look where their sales came from the last year or 2 years. All right, here's question number 3. How well do you feel that you understand advertising? Right, that's what you're getting at earlier.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, a lot of times people will advertise, and the advertising isn't working. And when it's not working, what they'll say is, well, we're just branding. Branding is a fancy way of saying that we're trying to pretend we're Budweiser. You're not Budweiser, and you don't have the budget that they have either. And so to understand your advertising, you should have a metric. I spend $1,000. How much profit comes in from me spending that $1,000 on advertising? And that's how well you grade yourself. If you don't know, then you should probably grade yourself fairly low. The positive is, if you are advertising, just some minor tweaks in your message, which we'll get to that a little more later, but just some minor tweaks can really improve your metrics on your advertising. So the fact that you are advertising is great, because there's an old expression that those who don't advertise in their business always advertise they're going out of business sale. So advertising is important in every business. Oh.
All right, am I missing? Am I moving? I feel like you're breaking up. That might be me on my end.
I was breaking up on my end. If you can hear me now, great.
Yeah.
If not, you can.
No, you're good. You're good. You're perfect. All right. So you're exactly right on the advertising. What you're saying is basically, are you advertising? Are you getting a result, and try to measure that result, right? And make sure that you know what you're doing. We talked to a dentist right now in Florida. He's doing a 30-minute TV ad 5 days a week, right? An infomercial, for lack of a better term. We're measuring the results. How good are they? And like you were saying, is there a way to tweak it to make it better? Which goes into, I guarantee you there is. Question number 4, how powerful is your unique selling proposition, right? We talk about that as your $1 million message. What is it? Why do people work with you? When it absolutely positively has to be there overnight, right? That's FedEx's unique selling proposition. That's their $1 million message. So
Sure.
you have a good one.
And going back, kind of pairing these two together, the advertising and the unique selling proposition. So let's say you're running ads, like the dentist running ads, on television. Well, how do you measure that? Well, I'm going to use My Pillow as an example. If you always notice every commercial he runs, he's always got a promo code. That promo code tells him what advertising is working, because that promo code offers a discount or what have you. Sometimes there's a unique URL address, website address. And that's how you install trackability into radio, television, those type of ads. So trackability is important.
Yeah, and that's good. That's going to be on question number 5, but hold on one second. So come back to your unique selling proposition. So it might be that you're running ads that are more like branding, and instead, if you had an irresistible $1 million message, absolutely positively has to be there over the night, that might make the results better. So again, scale of 1 to 5. So number 5 was, how do you rate your current offer's ability to compel your prospects to buy from you? So we talk about an irresistible offer. Do you have an irresistible offer? Scale of 1 to 5. And you're exactly right. It could be, as you're measuring these advertisements, what is the irresistible offer that's working better, or what offer is working better to bring in your clients, to bring in your prospects, to bring in your leads. So number 5 is, how would you rate your current offer's ability? Do you have a good offer? Do you have an irresistible offer? Is it a no-brainer for them to do business?
And you want to make it as easy as possible. And that it is part of the offer. And by the way, the offer is something, depending on your business, if you got an offer that's working, you tweak that offer and measure. And then if it starts going down, you go back to the original offer. A lot of times people have an offer that works for years and they don't change. I think about Billy Mays and the OxyClean or whatever it's called.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
That ad ran for years. Well, why did it run for years? Because it was working. And if you want to know, when you go to Facebook's ad library, if you want to know if something's working, search a term and watch how long some of the Facebook ads are running. If they've been running for a year, that tells you that ad is working, and then you can model their offer, if you will. This is extra. This has nothing to do with the conversation today, but the reality is you want an offer that works, and you want to keep tweaking it. So.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Gets into number 6, rate your promotion you offer that encourages sales. So what are you offering? Most of our guys just offer a discount, right? They don't really have a lot of creativity. Hey, 10%, 20% off, right? So how effective is that promotion at bringing and generating business? What's your best offer? We've talked about this before. I think it was a podcast last week or the week before, which was, what's the best marketing you did last year, right? And let's do that again. Do more of it.
Frank Kern,
what has been
like you're saying?
Yeah. Frank Kern says that's what he does before you come into one of his meetings is, hey, what'd you do last year? What worked? And let's do more of it. Right. So what's a good promotion? How well are your promotions working? What's the best one you've run in a year, 2 years, maybe ever? What's the best promotion you ever ran? And unfortunately, a lot of these guys, it's just discount. And we've talked about that in the past, how discounting kills businesses. But a lot of times that's all they have. So you need other strategies.
It's funny, on this step right here, how would you rate your current offer's ability to compel prospects to buy from you? In a lot of companies, they have one time, like in a period, where they hit really a great home run, and it changes their company forever. And it's just one offer, and it might go for 5 years. I mean, we had that happen in our manufacturing company. We had this probably 7 or 8 year window off of one lead magnet that continued to bring leads and leads and leads and leads and leads year after year, and it continued to work until it slowed down. We continue to run ads to that one offer. So when you get an offer, that's why we're asked, these are questions to ask yourself, because if you're rating this low, it's not to get discouraged. It's to say, where do I need to tweak in my lead generation so to improve my business? So
yeah, exactly right. It's funny you talk about that. So Dean Jackson, we talk about him and his podcasts, and I Love Marketing, and all his other ones. He had one that he talks about, one of his lead magnets that he did for a divorce attorney. I think the guy was in Texas, that they've been running for like 15 years, and it's how to stop your divorce. And so the idea is, it's how to stop your divorce, gets you to raise your hand because obviously you're about to go through a divorce, and it gives you, I don't know, 5 ways to stop your divorce, 10 ways to stop your divorce. But then at the end it says, and then if you can't stop your divorce, call me. Right? So yeah, so it's the divorce attorney telling you how to stop your divorce. But then if he's, remember we talked about that in the past about the buying decision, you're helping them evaluate their options. And when if it doesn't work, if the marriage isn't going to work, then call me to help you with the divorce.
Yeah,
anyway, they've been running that thing apparently 15 years or something.
The offer that just came to my mind when you were talking about that, I was thinking of like how to save $10,000 in your divorce.
Yeah.
And the way to do that is not to have a divorce. Save more, but that anyway. So that's a compelling offer.
That's pretty good. All right, we were on. Sorry, now we're back to number 7. How successful are you in using direct mail to generate business? So we've talked about direct mail. We like it better, more like direct response. How good are you using direct response, or are you doing the branding like you were talking about? Hey, we're locally owned and we've been here forever, and we do the right things. That's general branding. That's not a direct offer, a compelling offer, right?
I will say though, in the real estate business, direct mail is still probably rates very high for markets like today, where the market is outrageous. Well, for investors and real estate agents, finding people is very complex. So sometimes the only way to get to clients is actually through direct mail, because it used to be you'd get a stack of mail like this. Well, the mail stacks have gone way down. So getting somebody to open a piece of mail is actually probably easier than getting somebody to open an email right now. So
probably right. So tell us how you use direct mail, I think, in your real estate business.
We would search, we search for vacant houses. And then when we find them, we mail to the address. Of course, we know most of those places, but we also did research to find out, is it an absentee owner, those type of things. Now I'm giving away really good real estate information.
Okay, don't give away too much.
No, it's fine. I don't care. Because the reality is, when you find the absentee owner, and many times they want to sell, they just haven't got around to it yet. And the place has been vacant for months and months. It's just costing them money. So those are the type of sellers that many investors would want to find. The problem is the only way you're going to reach them is actually through direct mail, because you can't find them. You can't look them up by phone number. And a lot of those people hide in a trust as well. So you have to mail to the trust. We were trying to find a piece of land here not too long ago, and I think it was about the 3rd or 4th mail piece when we finally got a response. So you can't once again using direct mail to reach a specific audience. So
that's a good one. So I'd rate you a 5 on that, by the way. You're really good.
So we did skip. How would you rate promotions?
No, we did that. How would you rate promotions you offer to encourage sales? I thought we did that was number 6. Number 7, how successful are you in using direct mail? We just talked about that. Number 8, this is really fun because guys look at you with a blank stare. How would you rate your effectiveness of your affiliate or joint venture program? And so I talked to somebody the other day, and they're like, "What's a joint venture? Well, what's an affiliate program?" Just a blank. I don't even know what you're talking about. I never thought about that. And you and I talk about that's one of the best ways to generate business, right? Your joint venture or an affiliate program is somebody who has a complementary service to your business, right? And how can you team up with them to generate more business for both, right? Cross refer to each other, right? And so rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. I think the guy that didn't even know what a joint venture was would probably rate a 0, right? But we see this all the time. Like if you work in a strip center and let's say you're a hairdresser and next door is a nail salon, right? That'd be a great joint venture partner where you could refer your hairstyle people to do the finger, the manicure and the manicure pedicure people could refer you to the hairdresser, and y'all could come up with little special days or special
lashes,
offers.
eyebrows, you name it, all that stuff that goes along with, I mean, those are affiliate or joint ventures. And it doesn't always mean, see, I think the misinterpretation sometimes is that there has to be a transfer of like, oh, I give you a referral, you got to give me money. Not always. I mean, I've often talked about my insurance agent who refers people all the time.
Right.
He never gets remuneration. He keeps referring people, but he's the go-to guy. If you need,
Yes.
like, if you need to know somebody, he's the guy you call. Hey, Omar, do you know anybody in this business? And he always does. And that's the point is, where do I go for my insurance? Of course I go to him, but he knows everybody. And he knows, when I say, I mean, that's, why does he know everybody? Because his practice has grown and he's got a reputation of being an affiliate or a joint venture, even though he doesn't have his hands in the till all the time. So,
right. And that's exactly right. And that guy's like the mayor. Like, I call those kind of people the mayor, right? The guy that knows everybody's like the mayor. And so his strategy for business growth is joint ventures, is affiliation, is referrals, is I know a guy, right? And when you know a guy and you know everybody in town, that generates business. That's a strategy. That's a great lead generation strategy. So we've talked about him before.
And and it's, there are organizations that are set up just on this premise. Okay, you've got you got like BNI, you've got the Chamber of Commerce. All of those are set up on a referral type platform.
Oh, well, that's number 8. That's number 9.
But the reason I'm bringing that up is that what ends up happening is in many of those organizations is joint ventures occur at those. Yes. I mean, I know we're going to talk about referral, but this is where joint ventures can occur sometimes. So if you're not good at joint ventures, join a group, a referral group, and then you can also partner with others. Right. So,
and that's exactly right. So number 9 is effectiveness of your referral system, your referral program. And that can be from existing clients. That can be from, like we talked about, fellow business people as a BNI. How effective is your referral system, referral program? And a lot of times when you bring that up, most business owners, what referral program, what referral system? You mean you can systematically orchestrate referrals? And the answer is yes, right? That would be a 5. That I have a great referral system. I have a great referral process. One is I just wait for the bat phone to ring. I call it. I used to work for somebody called the bat phone. They wait for the phone.
We had a bat phone too. You know what the bat phone was, by the way? The bat phone was back when we used to run Bell South advertising in the yellow pages. It ran a full page ad. We had a different phone number for the full page ad. We called that the bat phone because it rang on a different phone in the building. Back when even though you had different lines, you had different phones for answering the lines. That was a while ago. I'm dating myself, but the point is, we called that the bat phone when it rang because we knew that was new business coming in from an ad, targeted advertising, but also referrals. One of the things that always comes to mind is when somebody doesn't have, when they say, well, I don't get many referrals. I ask, well, how many referrals do you give? It's almost 100% of the time they're not a big referral giver. That's why they don't get many referrals. The more you the more you get in that area, for sure.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We're going to come back. So number 10, what's the effectiveness of your sales letter? We talk about you do a lot of copywriting, and what's the effectiveness of your sales letter? How effective are you when you send out an email, when you send out direct mail, when you send out, or these sales letters are really also your scripts when you talk to prospects. Your unique selling proposition, your irresistible offer. It kind of wraps it all up when you put it in a script or you put it in a letter. How effective is your sales letter? And again, a lot of guys that we talk to, what sales letter? I just go off the cuff.
And if you're not, I mean, I'm going to simplify here, but I mean, we talked about this very thing last week. Tell a story about how you came to your product, solution, whatever you do. Tell a story about that. People love stories, and they'll remember stories. If you've ever seen a public speaker who tells a lot of stories, people will remember the stories. Sometimes they won't even remember the speaker. So tell a story, and then we talked about then you show the strategy. This is what you can. Your lawn can look great because we do this, and this. And then what are because we do this, and this are the tactics. Your lawn can look great. That's the strategy, right? And then because we do tactics, and so you lay that out, and then give people a testimony, which is great case study type thing. and then an offer. So, I mean, that's all you have to do to create a really good sales letter in your, I say really good sales letter. I mean, I'm a professional copywriter, but I don't typically write too much for others. I write for my own offers or for my clients and I'm coaching clients. But that's the point, is you should be able to take what you do. Nobody cares about how many vans you have on the road or how many years you've been in business. They might care how many years you've been in business if the story of how you got to where you are is compelling enough to listen to. That's why the story is so important.
I think that's a great point. And we've talked about, so these are 10 lead generation scorecard, 10 ways that your lead generation is growing or slowing your business. And as we've talked about, you're going to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5, right? 5 means you do a really great job of it. 1 means, you need work. Heck, 3 or 4 needs work, right? But it also helps you target what areas that you need improvement on. But as you talked about, halfway through this discussion, which I want to circle back to, which was, your business can be built on just 1 or 2 of these concepts, right? Go back to your Omar guy, right? He would be the referral guy, the networking guy, the joint venture guy. Like, his whole business is based off of that, right? You have, I've got a business owner, and his whole business is built off, community involvement, right? So he's joined the Chamber of Commerce, and he does all this charity stuff, and he's just active in the community. But again, he knows everybody and everything. Again, I call it the mayor strategy, where I know everybody and I got a guy and everybody knows me, and that generates business, right? That generates referrals, it generates activity, people's coming to your store or coming to you looking for advice or for help. So you can build your business out of any one of these 10s or 2 or 3 out of these 10 questions. This is just a great way that we try to delve deeper into what are your strengths or weaknesses when it comes to lead generation. What's working, what's not working, what areas need improvement. And you got to, like you talked about, you got to have a scorecard. You got to have a way to measure, right? So if you go through this whole thing and if you gave yourself a 5 on everything, you'd have 50 points. Great, 50 points, you're awesome. Keep up the good work. But if you don't, if you have, you had a bunch of 1s, right? A bunch of 3s, those are the areas that you need help on, that you need improvement on. That's areas that are not working, right? What's working, what's not working. Let's brainstorm ideas for improvement. And that's the idea.
I was going to say, and don't get overwhelmed with a checklist like this. You might have a couple of 3s that if you just brought 2 of them to 5s, and you don't necessarily have to bring the whole list. Like you said, you can be really good in one area, but all marketing should be tweaked slowly and carefully. Meaning it shouldn't just be random. When I say slowly, it slowly could be in a matter of days or weeks or months. It doesn't but if you need leads now, don't try to do all 10. That's where overwhelm steps in. Grade yourself, know where you're doing well. What's working now? Okay, I'm doing these couple of things well. Maybe I can just improve a little in these and really do well. Because if you're doing really well, you're probably not looking for a scorecard on getting leads. You're probably want a scorecard on how well you're doing attracting employees, because right now that's a big problem. And maybe we'll talk about that next week, is, how are you at attracting employees to your business? This is a big struggle that a lot of employers are having right now. I can't get people to work. Everywhere you go, there's help wanted signs. Everywhere you go. Well, why is that? Well, we know why that is, but it's because
sidetrack. That's a different issue. We're going back to
a different issue, but maybe we'll talk about that. But so if you already have the leads, you might be looking in different areas.
No, and it's a great point. Like I said, you could build a business off 1, 2, or 3 of these, and really they're all related. We talk about the fundamentals all the time, right? Do you know your target market? Do you know your niche, right? Who are you going after? Who's your ideal client? What's your unique selling proposition, your $1 million message, right? Those are connected because that will resonate really well with your niche, right? What's your irresistible offer? What can make it be a no-brainer? It absolutely positively has to be there overnight. Domino's hot and fresh in 30 minutes, guaranteed. Used to, right? That these things tie together as well. So these lead generations, and we talked about that, if you have a unique selling proposition, irresistible offer, that makes your advertising more effective, right? How effective is your advertising? How much measuring are you doing? Right. But I'll wrap this up. So we call this lead generation scorecard, 10 ways your lead generation is growing or slowing your business. This is the kind of stuff we talk about in our mastermind group, right? This is what we do and we talk about, and this is just one of the steps, right? We talk about lead generation is one, and conversions and more transactions. We have a whole formula to this, but we just wanted to give this out here. And I guess we could create this into a PDF and maybe make it available on the website, or email us and we can send you a copy of these 10 questions so you can rate yourself on. But it's just a great way to say, what's working, what isn't working on lead generation. Let's brainstorm ideas, how to improve it. And that's literally what we do in our mastermind group, right? And so if you're interested in our mastermind group, it's matt@profitabilitymd.com, david@profitabilitymd.com. But just use this lead generation tool as a great way to start. This is what we use with our clients, with our coaching clients on a way to start. How's your lead generation working? Our irresistible offer right now, we've talked about that many times, is we can find any business owner $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 in their business without spending a dollar more on advertising or marketing. That's our irresistible offer, going after our target market, business owners who are trying to make $1 million a year or reach $1 million a year, right? That's our target market. That's who we're helping to identify. That's our irresistible offer. That's our unique selling proposition. That's our no-brainer. Why wouldn't I want to try to find $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 business, right? Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff we do. So matt@profitabilitymd.com if you want to schedule a profit acceleration session, dave@profitabilitymd.com. You can find us on our YouTube channel, Profitability MD. You have our website, profitabilitymd.com. And of course, this podcast is available where all the podcasts are. But this is great. I think we're going to do more of this. I like these little scorecards. It's a way to grade yourself on your lead generation in different areas of the business. Because as Dave was saying, if you're not measuring it, how are you going to improve it?
Precisely. Great show, Matt. We'll see you.
All right, Dave. Appreciate it, buddy. See you.
Bye.